Hi, and welcome to Two Tired Teachers.
Today we want to talk to you about, we want to do a comparison of Caprock Canyons State Park and Palo Dura Canyon State Park. We visited both of them recently, and so we have some ideas ourselves about which we would choose if we could only do one. And we want to give you some basis for choice if you can only do one of those. If you have a chance to visit both parks, do so. They're both great parks.
Yeah, you're not going to be disappointed with either one.
No.
I have a dog here, and his spot's taken. But first thing we want to talk about is location. And with location, I'm going to say that Palo Dura Canyon is going to win for that.
I would, simply because it's nearer a big town, Amarillo.
Well, Canyon is even a decent sized town. They have Walmart, and I mean, let's face it, if you got a super Walmart, what else do you need? But there's a little highway that goes from Lubbock to Amarillo. I believe it's Highway 27. And when you're going to Palo Dura Canyon State Park, if you exit and go east, it is 8 miles across to the state park, and it's about 2 miles or so west to the town of Canyon. And so being a town that size where you can go get groceries, if you needed a auto supply store, things like that, a variety of gas stations, you've got all of that right there.
Caprock Canyon.
And like MiLena did say, Amarillo is an actual city if you need. They may even have a camping world or something.
Caprock Canyons, on the other hand, is outside the town of Quitaque, which is near Turkey, Texas. So that'll clear it up.
That was the home of Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys, which is not the same thing as Playboys later became.
But it's in a rather remote section.
And now, ease of access really is a different thing.
Yes.
The camping at Caprock Canyon State Park, you're
on the rim.
Except for those tent sites, which are actually down. But for RV sites are all up top. If it will bother you to drive a 10% grade for 1.5 miles or so on a switchback road, that was a CCC road built in the 30s or so, you're descending somewhere between, the canyon is 600 to 800 feet deep, and you're going that depth in a matter of 1.5 miles or so. So it's a 10% grade, and it is a switchback road. It did not bother us towing down there or back out. We didn't have any issues or problems. But I remember as a teenager, our mother drove that road once, and she wanted the inside no matter which direction she was going. She didn't like driving those things.
If it bothers you, then your choice will definitely be Caprock, because you're camping on top. Even if you're in a tent and going to the bottom, it is not those little switchback roads. There may be a steep grade at some points. It's not really as steep, maybe 4% or something.
Well, no, there are some steep, but it's a very short amount of time. Yeah, but it's not just nothing on the other side. Which brings us to the campsites.
Yes, for the campsites, it's pretty well even. For the RV sites, there are more at Palo Dura, but the tent sites, it goes to Caprock. The tent sites at Palo Dura are on the main road. With one exception, there's a little tiny loop that's barely off the road, and those are tent. But for the main part, it's on the main street through the camping area.
And actually, Caprock has more tent sites.
Yes, and better.
Yeah, much better. The view in the tent sites at Caprock is amazing.
Yes.
I'm going to say the view for the RV sites is better at Palo Dura.
Yes.
Because you're actually in the bottom of the canyon, and so you're sitting at
anywhere you look up, you're seeing canyon.
You're seeing canyon. And we had some cousins that came out and visited us, and they loved it. I mean, we're just sitting there visiting outside, and our view is great. So far as trails, Palo Dura Canyon, I think, has 35 miles of trails.
And they have some there, but I did not see any exactly like the one you went up where you went in the cave.
I'm not even sure that's considered a main trail. It's well used. It obviously is a trail. I'm not sure it's marked though. But it has 35 miles of trails, and it has a whole variety from easy to extremely difficult. There are bike trails that are easy to difficult. There are a variety of trails. Caprock Canyon within the state park has, I think, over 25 miles of trails. They have equestrian trails, multi-use trails. They both have awesome trails. But when it comes to trails, we're going to give that one to Caprock Canyon, and 2 reasons. One is they have a trailway. Now, the weird thing about the trailway, it's Caprock Canyon State Park Trailway. It does not actually go through the state park. The closest access point is 3 miles away. We drove on out to another section, and
which is probably the most popular. It's Monk's
Crossing.
And if you go down Monk's Crossing, you come to a tunnel where Mexican free-tailed bats live in the months of April through October.
But the trailway is a total of, I think, 64 miles.
Yes.
It was a rail-to-trail project, and not all of it is created equally. We have a whole video about the trailway, but that's why we would give the thumbs up to Caprock. But I tell you, there are tons of people from Amarillo that come to Palo Dura to hike. I mean, that's just...
Or to watch the
play when it's non-COVID years, play at Texas. But, so far as trails, that's why we're giving it... Well, and the other thing is, let's talk about the canyons. Hands down...
Caprock.
The reds,
all the colors, so much more vivid at Caprock.
This last trip, we went to Palo Dura first, and I'll be honest, we thought it was beautiful.
Yes.
We thought it was gorgeous. But when we drove into the canyon at Caprock, it was almost like we went from black and white to color.
It was breathtaking. We had been there before.
And we knew that, but literally leaving Palo Dura Canyon, driving to Caprock Canyon, I felt like we went from a black and, if you're old enough to remember, but went from black and white to color, because the reds were just, all the colors, the red and the white, that gypsum that's mixed in, it's just amazing. And so that one we definitely would give to Caprock. Amenities would go to Palo Dura, just because it's a bigger park. There is a museum there's information at Caprock, but there's actually a museum, and there's a park store.
There is a headquarters. It's fairly extensive. They sell t-shirts and mugs and all sorts of stuff, but they don't have much in the way of supplies. And I think the restaurant, maybe store and grill at Palo Dura
didn't have much.
No, I think they...
that's what they had more than the one at Caprock.
Yes.
Yeah, the one at Caprock, they do have some things.
Yes.
But it's a much more limited,
Yeah.
And that's another thing that we were talking about, and we're going to say this with amenities, has kind of to do with locations, but we had a friend that was staying at Caprock, and they needed something for their RV. At Quitaque, there just weren't many options to try and find.
And even at Turk.
But the canyon itself is just amazing at either one. You're going to be pleased with if you get a chance to go. Wildlife. At Palo Dura, this last time, I actually saw a coyote.
Yes.
The night we got there, the park host, they were walking around, and we were just visiting, and he said that he'd seen more coyotes in the first 2 months of this year than he did the last 5 months of the year before. And the next morning, I got up at shortly after sunup to take my dog out, and I kept hearing something, but it's in a canyon and it's echoing around, and I thought it sounded like dogs yapping. Not really barking, but that kind of yip, yip. Anyway, But then I thought, well, wait, maybe some kind of bird. And so as we were walking out to the edge of our campsite, I looked across. There was across the road, and it was a good distance away, but still I saw a coyote going across.
Yes.
He didn't get a long walk that morning. Road runners, there was one that we were in his campsite. I mean, he just was in, he was...
Now that was Palo Dura.
At Palo Dura, yeah. Matter of fact, while our cousins were there, we didn't get a video of it, we tried. He sat there and sharpened his beak on a rock while we're sitting outside visiting. I have seen wild turkey there before, not on this trip. Did see rabbits, but that's the wildlife at Caprock.
At Caprock, you've got the bison, and this kind of overlaps in something we're going to say later, but if you get a chance to go to Caprock in April, May, or June, the cows usually calve in April, is what a ranger told us. And so you can see the little ones.
You get to see baby bison.
And some of them we saw not the last time, but the time before when we were there, are so young, they were still real light. They hadn't turned the dark brown.
Yeah, a few of them were getting some little dark brown places on their faces and stuff. But yeah, the bison herd.
It's large.
And they just roam free. And so we have a video about each of these parks. The video about Caprock, though, the bison herd, that's what we focused on for the whole time, because it's just amazing. Anytime we have taken the scenic drive.
Yeah, and this time when we got there to register, there were some bison grazing, just grazing up there.
There were about 6 bison,
visitor center.
And, but I mean, they do have the free reign of.
You can see where they.
It's 1,000 acre, I think.
I think it's probably more, but I don't remember.
It's over there. It's a huge park, and they can go wherever they want to. So we can't promise.
Equestrian.
We can't promise you're going to see bison.
And if you stay in your RV, chances are you won't.
But I will tell you, anytime we've gone out looking, we have seen.
Yes.
At least one.
Yes.
Maybe just one big bull, but we've seen bison.
Yes.
And
this time we didn't see many cows.
Just when we first checked in, and then the night the night before we were leaving, or afternoon, there was a herd of cows over there, and that's when we asked the ranger, when do they calve? Because it was pretty obvious we were getting close. And so, wildlife, for us, because of the bison, we're going with.
And you see them up close. I mean, if you watch a video we did on Caprock, we showed them coming right by the car. I mean,
they hit
close.
the mirror. I mean, that was of the truck. Yeah, not hit it, but they walked right. Yeah.
When you see them that close, you realize what a majestic animal it really is. It's phenomenal.
And so, and then prairie dogs. They still have a prairie dog town there. And the road going down to the scenic loop goes right through their little, and they have a prairie dog crossing thing telling you to look out for them. So the wildlife we would give to Caprock as well.
Yeah, hands down.
And we have stayed, when we got reservations this last time, we'll just let you know this, the water and electric sites were gone. And so we took equestrian, which was dry camping, but it was large enough. I mean, they have horse trailers to get in there. And while we were there, there were a total of, I think, 5 different people that were down in there with us. Only one had a horse trailer and a couple of horses with him. There were other people just hanging out and camping down there as well. Okay, seasons. And this is going to be the same for both, and we just want to put this out there because if you're not from Texas, you may not understand. When we were at Caprock in June,
and
it was mid-June, maybe late, we were in our fifth wheel, and the fifth wheel had cabinets that went around down the couch and across the back, and we had gotten just the microfiber blankets and towels and hung from those cabinets to help insulate from the sun.
Because you
will not
campsites in either place, you're not going to have much shade.
You're not going to get a tree that will produce shade on your RV.
And it gets hot.
And if you're in a tent, you may find...
There's more shade there.
Yeah, at Caprock, you definitely have a lot more shade over the tent sites. But it's mesquite trees. They're not huge, but you can get the tents up under there. And I think it's the same at Palo Dura, the best I remember. But we just want to let you know, if you go in the summer, it's going to tax your air conditioner.
Be sure your AC's working.
It will tax it. May would probably be okay, but June, July, August, and even the first half of September, I would not look forward to going to either one of these parks.
And the cousins who saw us at Palo Dura, just went blank. At Palo Dura said that in the summer, and we have not seen this, but they said in the summer there are tarantulas everywhere at Palo Dura. I don't like tarantulas, and so I don't want to see them. At both of the camps, there are snakes of all kinds.
Yeah, rattlesnakes you'll be much more likely to run into in those summer months.
Yeah.
And there are warnings. I know at Palo Dura they had some warnings about the snakes. And so spring and fall would be optimum times. In the middle of the summer, it will cool off at night.
Yes.
But daytime is just going to be brutal. And these are both parks, though, that if you are there in January or February,
snow is a definite possibility.
And hard freezes. We were there the 1st of March, and I left some water out for Theo, and we got up the next morning and it had frozen. It wasn't a hard freeze. It didn't last that long, but just saying that...
And speaking of pets, if you are at Caprock, it's essential you keep your pets on a leash, because when those bison see two eyes looking back at them, they automatically think of prey or predator, and they're going to attack.
Well, and it is a regulation at both parks that you...
It is at every state park, but some people get a little lax.
Yeah,
Caprock's not one you want to be lax.
Yeah, when we were there the first time, somebody had a German Shepherd puppy they were letting run loose, which... Anyway, but we enjoyed our time at each of those parks. We had a great time. But like we said, if you just have time to visit one, we've given you our views and our reasons for our picks. If we could only go to one, Caprock,
hands down.
It's just, yeah. I'm glad we went to Palo Dura first.
Yes.
Because I think had we gone to Palo Dura and then to Caprock and then to Palo Dura,
we would have been disappointed.
Yeah, but as it was, we loved our time at both. And so, like we said, you're not going to be disappointed if you're able to visit either one. But if you can make it over to Caprock, it really is one of our favorite Texas state parks because of the bison. I mean, let's face it, that's it. It's amazing to have a herd of bison just around you. It's in the safety of your car, not standing out. Yeah. Anyway, those are our views, and hope you get to visit at least one of them.
And if you've been to them, let us know your opinion in the comments below.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. If you're watching this and really curious, do read those comments, because people who have been at either one and have a favorite, they'll let us know, and we appreciate that. Thanks for watching
Two Tired Teachers.